Hi, I'm Larry Lewis. I'm the host of From the Field to the Table, and we're excited this year to start this new show with LMRTC. And if you, I'd like to introduce you to Lacey, and you'll see her in the upcoming episode and a clip that's on the cooking show that you'll see today. And also, you'll see some clips of a little bit of yard work on wool breaking and wool training. Lacey's a little over 3 years old, and she's a great dog. She's completely broke. I could be walking down the road, tell her to stop, she'd stop and come to me, and you'll see that in a few minutes as you watch the clip on that. Meal-wise, we're going to serve you a great meal today. It's going to be some quail that Lacey helped us harvest on a hunt here on the farm. And I think you'll enjoy it, and I think you'll like the recipe, that you might even want to go out and hunt some on your own. And this season you'll see a few hunting episodes. Just stay tuned. It'll be from time to time that you might see some more bird hunting, some more yard work, maybe some other type of hunting as the season comes along, and then we'll be cooking what we kill in the field. And that's what this show is going to be about, from the field to the table. And I hope it introduced you guys to some good meals about the wild game, especially wild game we have in eastern Kentucky that's, it's healthy, natural. You not only get to have fun while hunting it, but you harvest it, field dress it yourself, and you're able to cook it, and you know where your meal comes from. Thanks for joining us. We're excited about this upcoming season. We're excited about this show. We're excited about hunting and cooking, and we really hope you guys enjoy, and stay tuned for more episodes. Thanks. One of the best things about having a good bird dog is having it wool broke. You don't want a dog to flush in or run in and flush a bird before you're ready, the hunter or whatever. Lacey, she's a good seasoned dog, as you'll see on the upcoming episode, and she's very wool broke. Lacey, whoa! And she will not move till I tell her to move. She'll stay right there till I tell her to move or tell her to come to me. If you can see, she's not on point. They're not a bird in front of her. That's why her tail's not up, but she's still wool. She's wool broke, and she's also whistle broke. She can either come on command or she'd come by a whistle. Lacey, come. And that's really what you want. It keeps you safe, keeps a dog from flushing a bird, keeps a bird from going up when you don't want it to, and not getting a good shot off. If you get close to a road or somewhere you don't want her to go, if they're wool broke, you holler command wool, they'll stop. You can have them come back to you or whatever. She's very well trained, a good dog, and we thank you guys for joining us today. I'm excited this evening to be able to share one of my favorite recipes with you guys, and it's quail with actually wild long grain rice. And one of my favorite things is, other than watching my dogs point and hunt out in the field, is actually being able to bring the game that you harvest in the field and be able to provide, cook it, and bring it before friends and family to eat and enjoy and have a good time. We're going to start out with some thick cut applewood bacon, and we need to cut it in half, and we'll get it going in the iron skillet. I always like using cast iron, and that might be just a little warm, so we'll turn it down. And we want to saute the bacon till it's partially done, and we'll turn it over to a warming skillet. And it's alright if it overlaps, because we're going to be stirring it in a minute and just crisping it up and getting us some good bacon grease to brown the quail with and season the rice. So that's fine. Actually, we'll probably turn this one up a little bit and put some of the bacon in it. Doesn't hurt to have plenty of bacon. Everybody likes bacon, right? I always wash my hands afterwards. We'll change this knife out and this cutting board and get a clean cutting board and fresh knife. This recipe also calls for roughly 1/4 to 1/2 cup of fresh parsley, so we'll eyeball it. I don't always measure, I kind of just go with the flow and what I think it tastes good. And the rest of it we'll use as garnish at the end of it. And it just finely chop some fresh parsley. Bacon needs to be turned up just a little bit. The quail is actually a really good game bird to cook with. One of my favorite birds other than wild grouse, and the wild turkey is really good too. The breast is white, and you could actually do this recipe with about any kind of wild game, as far as wild fowl, quail, pheasants would be good, turkey, wild turkey would be good, or quail. Just go over some ingredients that's going to be in it today, and we'll also go over this as we pour it in it too. A couple cups of this is actually an organic low sodium chicken broth, and 1 cup of wild long grain rice, and roughly a cup of carrots. And this recipe doesn't call out for mushrooms, but who don't like mushrooms with wild game? I do. Bacon, mushrooms, rice, and quail, you can't beat it. And also some lemon pepper seasoning, and you can use your brand of choice. It don't call out for no certain brand. We'll just get this bacon going really good here. What you do, you just when the bacon gets, we'll cook it about 3/4 through, just get it cooking good. And if y'all could smell it, it smells great. You know, it's always fun to be out in the field with friends and hunting, or family members, but I also enjoy getting to go back home and inviting your mom and dad, or grandpa, grandma, brother, sister, aunt and uncle, or just friends, and being able to sit down and talk about the day's hunt or hunts that's been in the past years. And you know, Dad always, or my grandpa when he was alive, you could always sit down, they'd tell him about deer hunting, rabbit hunting stories while you're cooking a nice meal, and just sit down and enjoy it. Brings back good memories, fond times, and you know, who doesn't like that? And I use a lot of natural, organic foods, not a lot of preservatives. Over the last couple of years, I've really tried to stay away from preserved food. Sometimes natural food, whole foods, cost a little bit more, but it's better for you. And that's why at my house we eat a lot of wild game, not because we have to, but we enjoy it. We eat a lot of venison, a lot of quail. As you've seen in the hunt that you watched earlier before cooking this, this is some of the quail that come from that hunt. And there are a lot of good ways to cook quail. I know in the future that we'll be doing different recipes and different ways, but if you don't have quail, you know, they're not real easy to just go out and buy, and there are very few wild quail left. That's why I have a hunting preserve. So I can go out, train my dogs, have a good time with friends, and enjoy that, and be able to watch the dogs work. As you can see, the bacon is about as brown as we want it at the time being. I've already transferred some of that skillet into this one, let it be warming turn my skillet down on low because we don't want it to cook a whole lot more. It'll continue cooking in with a dish as it simmers with the rice and quail in it. So if you want to, if you're doing this recipe, put all your bacon in one pan and just let it slowly simmer and cook and stay warm. It's time to brown the quail now. Like I said before, quail's my favorite game bird, but I grew up with my dad. He always quail and grouse hunted when I was little, and it sounds good hearing this quail brown in bacon grease. But a long time ago, Dad had a pointer. His name was Duke, and I always liked the dog. And at a young age, I got interested in bird hunting, and I'd always hear the stories of Dad and his friends when after they get done hunting, get to see a few grouse they killed. And when I was around 15 years old, I got my first bird dog. And we was on the family farm here in Morgan County, and I actually turned him out, and I come around the edge of the barn, and the dog was pointed, and it just got my attention right off the bat. He was just stiffened up, and it was a nice cool morning, and frost was on, and he was just there pointed, and I fell in love ever since then. I've been chasing it, and I understand why Dad enjoyed it so much. Just to been out in the nature and watching your dog work. And that day we killed about 3 wild quail, and actually killed the first grouse I ever killed in my life. We was walking up a deep hollow there by the house, and my dog just started going on point. And he locked up, and I walked up a little bit, and the grouse flew out, and it was a perfect shot right up wide open through the edge of the field in the Conley woods. Grouse most time in the woods, but he was feeding. He was in the edge of the woods, a little thicket. So it was a perfect shot, and it just worked out great, and I've been hooked ever since. And, it's just one small story is why I like to bird hunt, and I enjoy this so much. But, cooking's always been a passion of mine. I got to stay quite a bit with my grandmas off and on when I was growing up, and they did a lot of old-fashioned cooking. That's why I like using iron skillets. They're nothing greater than a good iron skillet. And I got to watch my mamaws cook, and slowly got a real good interest in it. And I'm still learning day to day. I'm not a perfect cook, but I enjoy cooking foods that we grow, whether it's from the garden and we can quite a bit, or deer that we harvest, venison to quail, grouse. It's just fun to cook and fun to entertain, and it's actually a little bit of a stress reliever for me. I enjoy coming home cooking and get my mind off the day's work, and it's a whole lot of fun. If you can see, this quail's browning now. Well, I turned up a skillet so it'll get a little hot, and it's sizzling. And we don't want to cook the quail completely through right now. We just want to brown it, get some of that juices in with the bacon grease before we saute the rest of the ingredients, and we'll go back over them in a minute. And I actually got 6 whole quail. I had to count them because I couldn't remember how many laid out last night. And what I do when I dress my quail, sometimes I'll cook them whole. Sometimes I will cut the breast off a bone. But for this instance, I dressed them out, and I took my kitchen shears and just cut them up center of breast so we'd have quail halves. And this dish would probably feed probably 3-4 people. If you have other sides, usually 2 quail per person's good. That you're real hungry and you've hunted hard all day, and then you might want to eat a few more. But the quail, if you can see, they're slightly starting to brown a little bit, and we'll turn them over. You can see all that good bacon grease and bits and pieces sticking to them. That's what makes them good. Why you need a season when you got bacon grease and good seasoning on it. We'll let them cook a few minutes on this side. Then we'll take them out and let them warm with the bacon in a minute. We'll start our other vegetables. Bacon's good and done now. A couple pieces too done, but it's part of cooking. Quail is actually cooked about enough for now, because it's going to cook some more. We got it in this hot bacon grease, and it actually warmed for about 2 or 3 more minutes in this skillet. And then as we cook it in a minute with the rice and vegetables, it'll finish cooking, because it has to simmer for about 15 or 20 minutes. As you can tell, this skillet's a little bit hotter than the others. And that's the difference in your iron skillets. That's why I like to use this one to cook rice and stuff in, because it's a little thicker. It keeps a better temperature. This one's an older iron skillet, but it's a little bit thinner iron skillet, so it gets hot really quick. So I'm actually going to set this off this burner. And let me turn my bacon again. Keep it from burning. We'll set it right up here. Let it finish, just stay warm. Now to this skillet, we actually want to add our mushrooms first. They'll cook down quite a bit, and that's probably about a cup and a half mushrooms. And the recipe don't call for mushrooms, but you can really, with this recipe, add about as many vegetables or the kind of vegetables you like. My favorite with rice is carrots, mushrooms, and it'll soak up a little bit of this grease and seasoning. And if you could see down in here, it's actually the little bits of pieces, and the brown pieces actually starting to stick to the mushrooms. So I'll saute my mushrooms for a minute. My heat is about on medium right now as I'm putting my vegetables in. And I want to add my carrots. Let them cook for a minute. Mix in with the bacon grease and quail drippings also that's already in here. And you can see the mushrooms starting to cook a little bit and actually softening up and taking on some of the seasoning and flavors. And smells great in here. If you can actually see that at home, it looks really good. See the mushrooms, carrots. And if you can see the bottom of the skillet, about all the bacon pieces, everything is kindly off the skillet now, and that's what you want. Okay, now we want to add the rice. And you add the rice, it's not cooked yet. You actually still dry and let it brown a little bit. I know you might say, why you brown rice? But it's actually a good thing. Just put it in there, put it in there and let it brown for a minute with the vegetables. Let it start cooking. Turns it a little bit of a brown color. But we get back to cooking and seasoning. You know, my dad was actually raised in a big family, and they hunted a lot. And Mama would always fry rabbit for breakfast and gravy and biscuits and fried potatoes, and I always remembered that, and that's one of my favorite meals. You know, back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, not telling none of my aunts and uncles' ages, and 60s, if you got 10, 11 kids, you're going to live as much as you can off the land. Now we'll add 2 cups of chicken stock, and again, this is sodium-free, just all natural organic chicken stock. And we want to bring this up to a boil. So we'll turn it back on high. And I'm going to put this skillet back on the burner because I actually let it get a little too hot on me a minute ago. And, you know, we don't have nothing to hide here, do we? I'm not no 5-star chef. I'm just a good old country boy who likes to cook and enjoy eating what I get off the land. Going back to this again, if I'll show this to you, it's kind of like just real liquid right now. You got your rice, your vegetables, kind of like looks more like a soup right now. But as it gets hot and boils, the rice will cook, absorb the liquid, and it'll turn into the dish that we want in a little bit. This recipe also calls for a half a cup, a teaspoon of just a lemon pepper seasoning. We'll just sprinkle it right in with the rice. And that's all the seasoning I put in there right now. And I'll use my tongs to stir it up with. There's no need in getting a spatula for everything. You just got to wash it after a while. That's one good thing about this dish, and a lot of dishes I cook, I'll try to limit to 1 or 2 pots. Like I said, I have a lot of people come over, so I'll try and make a dish that will feed several, and you don't have to make a mess, and you're cleaning up, and it's hearty. You got all your meat, your vegetables in here, throw you a little bit of bread in with it, and, you know, you got a complete meal, and it's really good, really easy. As that's coming up to boil, the quail browned a little bit more. If you can see the quail and bacon, and we're going to be adding all this to the dish in a minute and let it finish cooking. It actually smells great. I wish y'all could smell it. Okay, the rice is up to a boil. We're going to slowly add the quail in here, and you just place it just around kind of in a semicircle like that. We actually want to turn this down to the simmer now. Probably low to low medium, and we'll check it in a minute, make sure it cools on down. And you just spread your quail around in a circle, and when the rice firms up after a while, we'll actually, it'll be real pretty. Your quail will be on top, your bacon will be laying on top of that. And we got plenty of bacon in here. We actually just want to add bacon on top of it, just like that, all the way around it. This will continue cooking in here, and it just gives that depth of flavor onto the rice and everything. I cooked a little more bacon than what I actually needed. I think I may have overcooked a piece or 2 of it. But usually half a piece of bacon for each piece of quail. And we'll actually turn this burner off now. We're done with it. That's the dish right now. We'll put a little bit of this parsley right on top. Just a little more seasoning. Gives it some greenery after a while. And what you want to do with this, like I said, turn on low to medium heat. I normally use an iron skillet lid, but I want to see this as it cooks and firms up, and maybe we can look at it a little bit as it cooks. So I'm getting just a glass lid. I think it's a 10-inch skillet. It fits about any pan, and we can keep an eye on it and look. And you actually let it simmer. Lisa, here, I'll show you a picture of it, but you actually let it simmer for about 15-20 minutes until the rice is tender and firm, and it'll be ready to serve. As you guys can see, this dish has come together. We're getting ready to plate, and it just smells so good and looks so good. Can't wait to try it in a minute. It's a great dish. I could take a moment to thank Bank of the Mountains for letting us use the Martha Stacy building. It's a great building. If anyone in West Liberty local areas wants to rent it out, call and see them. It'll serve all your needs. You can find this recipe on www.mrtc.com, and it'll be posted in a few days. Whenever this runs, you'll be able to go on there, and any future recipes you'll be able to find on there. As I serve this, I always try to get one quail breast and a piece of bacon out. Looks like I got two on there, if you're serving it for two, I'll do one like that. Then I'll come in here and grab another one with some carrots and put it side by side. There's a piece of bacon trying to escape on me, and that's pretty much a complete dish. Put a little bit of parsley on there for a garnish, and you really got a real good meal here. I hope you guys get to either kill some quail, turkey, grouse, or some kind of wild fowl. This is also good with venison, and cook it, enjoy with family and friends till we get to air again with another hunting show, some more food. We appreciate y'all, and thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Thanks.